My 18th birthday, the day I thought everyone forgot my name, is Emily Carter. And this is the story of the most unforgettable birthday of my life. The day I turned 18. The day I thought everyone had forgotten me. And the day I learned just how loved I truly was. I woke up early that morning to the warm sunlight shining through my bedroom curtains. For a few seconds, I simply lay there smiling. It was finally here. My 18th birthday. A day I had dreamed about for years. 18. Officially an adult. A new chapter of life. I reached for my phone, expecting to see dozens of notifications waiting for me. Birthday messages. Texts from friends. Maybe even a message from Jason Parker, the boy I had secretly liked for almost 2 years. But when I unlocked my phone, my smile slowly disappeared. Nothing. No messages. No notifications. No birthday wishes. I refreshed the screen. Then again. Still nothing. I told myself it was still early. People were probably asleep. Everything would be fine. At least my family would remember, right? I got dressed and walked downstairs. The smell of pancakes filled the kitchen. Mom was cooking breakfast. Dad was reading the newspaper. Lucas was eating cereal. Everything looked completely normal. Too normal. I walked into the room with a smile. Good morning. Morning, sweetheart, Mom replied. Dad looked up and smiled. Lucas waved. Then everyone went right back to what they were doing. No birthday greeting. No surprise. Nothing. I sat down at the table, waiting, expecting someone to suddenly say it. Any second now. But the seconds turned into minutes. Nothing happened. At one point, Lucas opened his mouth as if he was about to say something. Dad quickly gave him a strange look. Lucas immediately became quiet. I noticed. Something felt strange. But I couldn't understand what it was. Eventually, breakfast ended. And nobody said a single word about my birthday. My heart sank. The walk to school felt longer than usual. I kept checking my phone. Still no messages. No calls. No notifications. The empty screen felt heavier every time I looked at it. Around me, the world seemed happy. Birds were singing. The sun was shining. People were laughing. But somehow I felt completely alone. At school, things only got worse. Students filled the hallways. Groups of friends laughed together. Everyone seemed excited about summer vacation approaching. Yet nobody mentioned my birthday. Not one person. Not even my closest friends. During class, I secretly checked my phone beneath the desk. Nothing. The teacher's voice faded into the background. I couldn't focus. I stared out the window, wondering why everyone had forgotten. Had I done something wrong? Was I less important than I thought? The questions kept spinning through my mind. At lunch, Sophia Bennett sat beside me. She immediately noticed something was wrong. Emily, are you okay? I forced a smile. I'm fine. She didn't believe me. I could tell. But she didn't push. Instead, she simply sat beside me and kept me company. Sometimes the kindest thing someone can do is stay, even when they don't know what's wrong. Later that afternoon, I saw something that completely shattered my heart. I was walking down the hallway when I noticed Sophia talking to Jason. The two of them seemed excited. Then Sophia handed him a small gift box. Jason smiled. A genuine smile. The kind of smile I secretly wished he would give me. My stomach dropped. Suddenly everything made sense. Or at least I thought it did. Maybe they were together. Maybe the gift was for him. Maybe everyone was celebrating something else entirely. Something that had nothing to do with me. I turned around before either of them could see me. And for the first time that day, I felt tears forming in my eyes. When school ended, I walked home alone. Groups of friends laughed together on the sidewalks. Some were taking pictures. Others were making plans. The world felt full of happiness. Just not mine. I had never felt so invisible. When I arrived home, the house was strangely quiet. No music. No voices. No lights. The entire place felt empty. I slowly walked to my room and sat on my bed. The same bed where I had woken up that morning full of excitement. Now all I felt was disappointment. I stared at my phone one last time. Nothing. A tear rolled down my cheek. Then another. Maybe this was what growing up felt like. Maybe birthdays stopped mattering. Maybe people moved on. Maybe I simply wasn't important enough. Just then, my phone rang. Grandma rose. I quickly answered. Happy birthday, sweetheart. The moment I heard those words, I nearly cried again. At least one person remembered. Grandma spoke gently, as if she somehow knew exactly how I felt. Before hanging up, she said something strange. There's something waiting for you behind the old storage barn. I frowned. What do you mean? She laughed softly. Go look. Then she ended the call. Curious, I walked outside. The sun was beginning to set. Golden light painted the backyard. Everything felt peaceful. I slowly made my way toward the old barn. The place looked abandoned. Quiet. Dark. I reached for the door handle, took a deep breath, and pulled the door open. Darkness. Complete darkness. For 1 second. Then suddenly, lights exploded on. Birthday surprise. The entire room erupted with cheers. Colorful balloons filled the air. Birthday decorations covered the walls. Music started playing. And standing in front of me were the people I loved most. Mom, Dad, Lucas, Grandma Rose, Sophia, Jason, and dozens of friends. My hands flew to my mouth. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. All day long. Every strange moment. Every secret conversation. Every missing text. Every suspicious glance. It had all been part of this. The surprise. The biggest surprise of my life. Tears filled my eyes again. But this time they were tears of happiness. Mom wrapped her arms around me. I told everyone not to text you. Dad laughed. It was harder than you think. Lucas grinned. I almost ruined everything at breakfast. Everyone burst into laughter, including me. For the first time all day, the party continued for hours. We ate cake, opened gifts, took hundreds of pictures, laughed until our stomachs hurt. For the first time that day, I felt something I hadn't felt in hours. Loved. Then came one final surprise. Jason walked toward me holding a small gift box. His hands looked slightly nervous, which somehow made him even cuter. I opened the box. Inside was a beautiful silver necklace with a small star pendant. It sparkled beneath the lights. It's beautiful, I whispered. Then Jason looked directly into my eyes. And suddenly, everything became quiet. At least for me. I've wanted to tell you something for a long time, Emily. My heart started racing. I like you. The room seemed to stop. I've liked you for a very long time. For a second, I couldn't speak. Then I started laughing through my tears. Because all day I had convinced myself that nobody cared, when the truth was the exact opposite. I looked at him and smiled. The funny thing is, I paused. I like you too. The entire room exploded with cheers. Sophia nearly screamed. Lucas acted like he had just won the lottery. Grandma Rose looked completely unsurprised, as if she had known all along, which she probably had. Later that night, Jason and I stepped outside. The stars filled the sky above us. The cool summer air felt perfect. We stood together quietly, not needing to say much. Sometimes happiness doesn't need words. I looked back through the barn window. Inside, my family and friends were laughing together. The people I thought had forgotten me. The people who had spent weeks planning the perfect surprise. The people who loved me more than I realized. That was the day I learned something important. Sometimes love is quiet. Sometimes it hides behind secrets. Sometimes it looks like forgotten messages and strange behavior. But real love is always there, even when you can't see it. Especially when you can't see it. And on my 18th birthday, I discovered that I was never forgotten. Not for a single moment. I was loved, more than I ever imagined. And that made it the best birthday of my life. The end. Red Heart birthday cake sparkles.